This episode is not about inspiration, it's about execution. Because most people don't need more information, they need to start moving. Look, so many people these days are obsessed with listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, saving tweets, highlighting books. And that's great. There's no problem with that. But none of that makes you an entrepreneur. You can't become a football player by watching someone play. Same as you can't become a fighter by watching UFC. Same with business. You can't just listen to podcasts and think you are building something. If you are not applying it right there in the moment, you're just collecting knowledge you'll forget tomorrow. Because think about it. You need to feed your brain every day, constantly. It's just like feeding your stomach. You can't just have a meal, like, you can't just eat something like once a day. You can't just eat something like 9 a.m. and be like, hey, I'm gonna be good for the rest of the day. You need breakfast, you need lunch, you need dinner, you need snacks in between, maybe late night crabbing, and you're gonna go to bed. The moment you wake up, you're hungry, you need to eat again. So, same as your brain, you need to feed your brain constantly. Just by reading one great book, or watching a documentary on Netflix, on YouTube, or listening to a podcast, is not gonna make you like, hey, I'm the god. I don't need no more. I can do whatever I wanna do right now. So, that's number one. You need constantly to feed your brain. That means you need to allocate specific hours during the day, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever you can, to read, to study, to listen, to watch, and learn from the best. You need to repeat that every day. Market is changing. So you can't just, you know, by watching someone, let's say, hey, I watch Jeff Bezos talking on YouTube and I'm good, I'm the god. No, you need constantly to feed your friend to your brain. That's number one. Number two is that you need to apply those methods to your business. If you are learning, if you are reading, if you're studying, if you're watching, and you think there is something smart right there, maybe you are, listening to Jeff Bezos' technique of hiring and firing. Maybe you're listening to Gary Vee, how to manage early stage startups. Maybe you're listening to Leila Hormozi, how to deal with bad employees. Maybe you're listening to Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk on how to market your product without any budget day one. So if you think that's useful, I'm never telling you like do what the others what you listen or what others are telling you, because what works out for someone is not gonna maybe it's not gonna work out for you. What didn't work out for me maybe it's gonna work out for you, or the other way around. But what I'm telling you, as I've been always saying, I never tell to anyone what to do. I'm always just sharing my humble knowledge. It's good to listen to everyone. It's good to be humble and watch and learn. And at the end, you are the only one that can decide what you want to do, which path you want to take, and how you want to move forward. I've been always talking about that. Never do something just because someone told you to do it. You have brain. So it's good to listen to everyone. But at the end, you got to be your own judge. You got to create your own courtroom. And you got to be like, hey, I heard, I'm listening, I'm reading. One book said do this, the other book said no, don't do that. Um, Elon is like, this is the right path. Zucks is not, no. Jeff is like, do this. Gary Vee is like, do that. Alex Hormoz is like, no. Um, Tony Robbins is like, that's good. Just don't do it just because Tony Robbins is saying that's good, or Alex Hormoz is saying that's good. You gotta listen to everyone, gather information, And then at the end, take your time, analyze everything, and see which one you want to pick. And then you gotta apply that to your business. If you don't, what's the point of listening to all these podcasts or watching all these videos on YouTube or social media from the influencers in the industry? Um, like maybe you're listening to some great marketeers or some great entrepreneurs or some of the best sales guys in the market, or you wanna improve your support team and you're listening to some of the best HR or support techniques. But if you don't apply to your business, ask yourself what is the point, and day after or after 2 days you already forgot about, like, yo, what, 2 days ago I was listening to this 3.5 hours podcast, you know so you forget if you don't apply, right? Execution is where you separate yourself. You hear something smart, good. Now pause the video, stop the pod, and go do it. It's that simple. Ideas are easy, execution is rare. The people who win are the ones who move. Speed is matter. Now, your brain is like your body, as I told you. It needs constant fuel. You can't just eat once and be full for life, right? So, learning is not a one time thing. But don't confuse learning with progress. The real growth comes when you act. Everyone has that friend who saves ideas, screenshots, codes, TikTok, podcast clips, and then nothing. I had a friend like, I had a friend like that. Wanted to start a food page, always saving content every day. I'll start soon, never did. It's been a year, still saving, still not posting. What's the point? And you know what? Also, let me tell you a mistake I made, and I'm still paying for it. When I started the list, I didn't know shit about taxes or labor laws or insurance. I was just building. I was that naive founder, passionate, focused, motivated, but blind to the system. I hired employees in Greece, gave them good salaries. I thought I was paying 10K a month, like including all salaries. I had a backend engineer, iOS, Android developers, DevOps engineer, UX UI, couple of associates here and there. So all of them together, like the salaries combined, it was kind of like 10K a month. And guess what? With taxes, insurance, bonuses, leave days, legal obligations, I was actually paying over 20K a month. Now, depending on one country, what country you're living, you gotta learn the system. Like in Greece, there are so, like, if I pay an employee, like, I'm gonna make it a simple math. If I pay an employee like 1,000 a month, it's gonna cost me almost 2,000 a month. It's kind of like double, because there is insurance, there is tax, and I'm not talking about tax on your income. It's tax on just hiring someone without even having a revenue, right? Like day one. Yeah, I know, stupid. Um, like, why do you have to pay to government, like, when you don't, like, it's day one, you're building, and you are not generating any revenue, you don't even, your beta is not even out. Like, okay, wait, let me generate revenue and gladly I'll pay you my tax. But why should I pay tax on hiring? Right? So, and then there are payroll taxes, and then there are bonuses, Christmas, Easter, summer, and then if you fire, you gotta pay a full, or maybe depending of how long they will stay in your in your company. If it's over a year or less than a year, you gotta pay a couple of salaries and upcoming bonuses and leave days and all that. So then came the penalties, like, um because I couldn't pay. So I thought I'm paying 10K, but then I'm like, I see all these extra expenses, the gov expenses, and then I'm like, basically I'm not paying 10K a month. It's kind of like 20K, but I couldn't afford to pay the government expenses, so I wasn't paying them. They were just gathering and gathering and gathering, and then boom, came a penalties. One day I woke up, you know, I see they have shut down our bank accounts. They took all our money. I owed 100K to the government just for being a dump, not for doing anything um, illegal, just not knowing. I had to pay it back in installments, still paying every month, up to date. And it's my own fault. So please, if you're starting something, don't just jump. Learn the country you operate in, learn the laws, learn the taxes, talk to an accountant, read the fine print. It's very important, guys. Up to date, I'm paying. I owed 100K installment, monthly payment, whatever we earned. Like, I'm like, this is really bad. Like, startup, um, uh, suffering with low income, bootstrapping, no funding, and then you make a little revenue, and then you are like, I can't even run some ad campaigns or hire someone or do something useful. I just gotta give it back to the government for insurance taxes, something that I owed like 4 or 5 years ago. So installment and up to date, it came down to 20K, and now I'm paying 1,500. From 100K to 20K, and still I'm paying 1,500 a month, and that's only for insurance. And I owed like 60K in taxes, and again, not taxes on any revenue because we didn't generate any revenue. It was just taxes on payroll, on on the salaries I was giving to my employees, and you know and things like that. So, and that's like, that's also, I made that also an installment, like paying like 1K a month, and now it's kind of like 7 to 10K remaining. So why? If I would have, you know if I would know the system, I would never do that. I wouldn't, like, I mean, it's so pity. Imagine I would have spent that 100K instead of paying insurance to the government. Imagine I would have spent it on Google ads or Facebook ads or, TikTok or Snapchat or influencers, or hiring some, talent, or hiring some sales, or expanding our operations, or, R&D, anything, you name it. Even buying, even hiring a catering company, just, hey, bring us lunch every day, like 1 to 2 p.m. to the office, let the employees have fun, have some food on the companies. So anything I could do with that money would be more beneficial rather than just paid in tax and insurance and stuff like that when we didn't even have revenue. So after I got screwed by taxes, I switched gears. I stopped hiring full time. I started hiring freelancers, mostly from Upwork. And it changed everything. I didn't have to pay payroll taxes. I didn't have to deal with bonuses, insurance, vacation days, you know, um, different kind of payments. If someone didn't perform, I just ended the contract that easy. Not like, because normally with the Greek law, if I hire someone and for any reason they are not doing a good job and I want to fire them, I just have to pay an arm and a leg just to get rid of that bad employee. Like, I gotta pay their upcoming salaries and their like upcoming 2 3 salaries, and then their bonuses and insurance. Like, basically, if I hire someone on a 2K salary, firing him is gonna cost me like 5 6K depending on how long they are staying at the company. Rather than Upwork. Now, I'm not saying Upwork is the best and oh my god, whoever you're gonna hire. No, I had also bad experience in Upwork, but at least I didn't lose money, because Upwork, the difference is that they are freelancers, so they care for their reviews, for their rates. They live off they live off that, right? So um, the traditional way of hiring a full time employee, Now, of course, you need that, but not day one, right? So you hire someone full time, they come to your company, they're employee, they don't give a crap about you or about the product. Um, they don't work eight. No one works 8 hours, right? I'm talking about the employees. Like there's lunch break. Someone called me. My wife called me. My children. Whatever. I don't feel good. Going to the balcony, take some fresh air, smoke break. I'm going down, buy some food. Can I leave today earlier because I gotta get my kid to the dentist. And as a founder, you're gonna be a dick if you say no, or why your wife can take him. So and guess what? Like all they care is their salaries at the end of the month. If things go south, they don't give a shit. They just bounce. But rather than Upwork, is their personal profile and they live off that and they eat off that and they got their rate and reviews and star. So they really care for their reputation. Because if I hire someone on Upwork, and again I'm saying I had bad experience on Upwork too, but if I hire someone on Upwork and the guy has like lots of 5-star rates, good reviews. I can see their past experiences and all that. At least it's kind of like a safety. Like, hey, this is look legit. And of course, a person like that does not want any bad review or 1-star rate after terminating the contract. That's why they really care for the satisfaction of their clients to deliver a good job. And guess what? I pay no insurance to Upwork. I pay no Christmas bonus, no Easter bonus, no summer bonus, no payroll taxes. If I want to end the contract, boom, I just end the contract without paying like, arm and a leg. And I'm not going to owe to the government at the end. So Upwork gave me something else, right? It saved me. Now imagine if I would knew that from day one. Instead of owing 100K to insurance and 60K to taxes, and still paying, like after 4 or 5 years, still paying every month, and it still is not over. I gotta pay up to until the next 2 years. And now we have a revenue. That means I'm paying taxes on our revenue, I'm paying monthly insurance, and the 100K and the 60K that I talked about, I'm carrying them from like 5 years ago. I made those installments, I'm paying, and so basically, like half of our earnings, even more, is just going to the taxes and insurance from the past and the current. So every month there are new taxes, new insurance that, you know, back in the days we didn't have any revenue, but now we do. So we do pay taxes on that. That's 24% right there. And I do have employees right now, so I do pay their insurance and taxes and all that. Plus, I carry 100K plus a 60K on insurance and tax on like old debt from the past day one when we had no experience and no revenue. Why? That's stupid. If I just knew the system or learn or investigate a little. So that's why it's really, really, really important to know the system of the country that you're operating in to not get screwed. Do I still get bad hires? Of course. But at least I'm not destroying legally and financially. I'm not getting destroyed legally and financially. If I had done this from the beginning, I would have saved myself like 6 figures. Um, Look, another thing I want to talk about in here, it's your ego. Because this one kills more than startups this one kills the startups more than anything else. I know so many founders, including me. I'm not like that anymore, but day one I used to be like that. Who refuse to bring on a co-founder? They want to be the face. They want to be the one-man show, the star, right? I used to be like that. Now, um, but here's the truth. If you think about it, imagine Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Zucks, Travis, the founder of Uber, all that. So they didn't do it alone, or let's say Steve Jobs. They didn't do it alone. They had the team, co-founders, operators, builders. They had the whole army behind their back. Sure, the world only knows their names, That's fine. I mean, you don't know who is the backend engineer of Apple, or the AI developer of Tesla, or who is the the engineers of Blue Origin or SpaceX, or who are the people behind the scenes. You just hear, oh, Elon Musk. Oh, Elon Musk made this. Oh, Elon Musk made that. Oh, Jeff Bezos built it. Oh, Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, bro, there are like, you know, thousands of people, or hundreds of thousands of people working at Meta or Tesla or SpaceX or Amazon or eBay or Uber, Airbnb, you name them. But what you hear, Brian, the founder CEO of Airbnb, Zucks, Meta, Elon, so they had the whole army behind their back. They had the most, I mean, s- smart people in their team. If someone else can help you move faster, build smarter, scale quicker, why wouldn't you? What's better, 100% of a $10,000 company? Think about it. Or 30% of a $10 million company? Which one do you want? Imagine you have an option. You owe the whole, you got two options. Option A, let's call it option A. There's a company called Airbnb. You can own all of that 100%. The whole company is yours, but that 100% is gonna worth of $10,000. Or option B, there's another company, same thing, called Airbnb too, but you can have only 30% of that company, which is worth of $10 million. Which one would you go for? Don't let your ego slow you down. Don't be afraid to partner. Partnerships are great. Partnerships are what they saved my company, because day one I had this dream that I wanna dominate the world all on my own. Bro, even Genghis Khan didn't dominate the world on his own. Even Cyrus the Great didn't do it on his own. Even Alexander the Great didn't do it on his own. If Alexander the Great would go like, being alone, like he would have died like first minute in a war. He had the whole army behind his back, saving him, protecting him. So day one, I had this like, um, you know, I had this ego that I don't need anyone. Like, I'll dominate the world on my own. I'm gonna shake the industry on my own. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Even there were some providers that they reach out to us, to have integration with us, with the list, so they could share their restaurants and their client base. And I was like, no, why? I don't need you. Why do I need you? I'm gonna sign up those restaurants anyway on my own. And as much as the time was passing and I was getting more mature, like what I'm telling you, that's like 2018, right? Now it's 2025, so I'm a different person right now, right? So I have learned so many things now. As much as I'm thinking, I'm like, to to create something amazing and to have a good impact on people's life and on the industry, you need a great team. You can't, it's impossible. You cannot do it alone. You cannot just conquer the one world alone. You cannot just play alone. You need great leaders, you need great managers, you need great employees, you need talent, you need great developers, finance guys, lawyers. You need a great team. So stop having that ego by saying no to outside helps, by saying no to people that they can bring you value, by saying no just because you think you want to be the only person, and oh, if someone else join my company, they're gonna take a piece of pie, and I want to be the one man show. Okay, let them get a piece of pie. If they are building, if they're helping you, why not? You are the founder of company, you are the face of the company. No one can change that, right? No one can change that. So rather to have this stupid ego, like by saying no and just trying to build on your own, which is gonna hurt you in a short term, because you're gonna burn out, you're gonna feel lonely, you have no second thoughts or brain. Just continue as a solo founder, right? So if you're Building something in tech, you absolutely, if you have no tech background, you absolutely need a technical co-founder. If you are a developer, then you need a business co-founder who understand business operating, sales, uh, understand the system, government laws, and all that. So here is my conclusion for you guys. Stop collecting content. Start applying it. That's number one. Number two, learn the system before you break your back in it. Number three, use freelancers if you can't afford employees. I'm talking about day one. Number four, don't be afraid to find people who make you better. Welcome them with open arms. Now, this journey is hard, it's very hard. But if you move smart and move fast, you give yourself a real shot. Thank you guys for listening to this. As always, thank you for your support. Thank you for your rates. Thank you for your reviews. I really appreciate it. Even if it's a 1 star rate and a bad review, I still appreciate it because it can help me to build. I'm not here to make money out of this pod or doing sponsorships and promote something. This is just my, I'm just doing that just just for the sake of love, and I want to just transfer my humble experience to you guys, because I went through a really 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 tough times because I had no one to mentor me, and I had to learn everything on my own. And so I'm sure there are people like me out there that they are building and they are all alone without any funding or co-founders or people believing in them or their ideas. And that's why this is my whole point. I'm like, there are people like me out there. If I can help them by just allocating an hour of my day by recording something and you know sharing it with them, why not, right? So it feels good. It feels good to help people. Now, if someone that building, and they're desperate and they feel they're not good, or the system is against them and all that, please share this pod to them. Now you can email it to them, you can just copy the link, send them in a Slack, WhatsApp, Viber, whatever, Facebook, Instagram. You can share this so it can help them. Thank you very much. I see you at the next one. Have a good time. Bye bye.